some kind of bet.
It'd be me if there was.
I always take the over.
Another's a bet. There's got to be something. How long is he going to be? What hat's he got on? There's some kind of bet. You got to have something.
Opening statement.
You got to have something. You got to have something. Is there an opening statement? Is there not?
It's only how long it's going to be.
Does this count as an opening statement? How long is he going to filibuster? Oh man. I know
How long
you
is he
got-
going to ask us about the bet?
Yeah. You got to come up with something to kill the time. All right. Well, I don't have any opening statement. What do y'all got?
How'd it go today?
It was good. I mean, we today's the last preseason game, if you will. So today is a big day for a lot because it's our last full live day. We'll still have we'll pretty much we got tomorrow is kind of our last camp practice, if you will. So we'll break camp tomorrow, and then they'll have a day off Saturday, and then we go all Georgia prep starting Sunday. So then we got full 2 weeks. We'll start Sunday and Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then they'll start school Wednesday. So we'll just have meetings on Wednesday, and then we'll go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then it's game week. So got a good plan. Now it's about getting out of camp mode and start bringing them back a little bit, and then again finish up on Clemson tomorrow, and then turn our eyes to our opponent. It's been good. Today was again a big day. A lot of special team stuff. Today was a lot of situational stuff, especially at the end of practice. Just some special situations that can come up throughout the course of the year that you want to. It's too late to work on those things when they come up. So you got to make sure you got a good plan. So kind of a lot of our checklist stuff to make sure we're ready. And then a lot of we're mostly always ones-on-ones. And today we mixed in a lot of twos-on-ones, and that's intentional as well, because this is that point where sometimes guys get a little comfortable, and you need to be exposed, and that's what happened for some guys, and so for some guys they were exposed in a good way, really showed some things that you're very encouraged by. So it was a good day as far as getting done what we need to get done, and biggest thing is nobody got hurt. That's the biggest positive, because you got to go. You don't get tough in the season. You don't just show up and know what you have to get ready to play football. And so this is one of those days that you got to cut it loose and go play. And you hope that everybody would come through it okay. And so we did. So I'm happy about that. That was a huge positive. And even from overall, we're in a pretty good spot from a health standpoint. So. Again, still got some good work to do, but the two main scrimmages, preseason games, if you will, are behind us. Right now, we've got 3 guys that are out for the year, and then we've got a few guys that I would say are just day to day. Is that 2 days? Is that a week? Is that 2 weeks? That's their day to day. But we've got 3 guys that are out for the year: Watson Young, torn ACL, and then Miles Oliver, who's been out with an ACL and a pec. He's going to be out, and then Ian Reed, unfortunately, had a knee injury too, so he's going to be out for the season. So, but other than that, again, a few guys banged up, but nobody else that's out for the year or anything like that, or for a long period of time. So, kind of all day to day at this point.
Offensively speaking, were there a couple guys that stood out from this scrimmage?
Yeah, I think all 3 of our quarterbacks. I'm really, in fact, I told the team that afterwards. I've been really pleased with all 3 of those guys, and that's what I was hoping coming out of camp, that we could come out of some confidence with 3 guys and Paul's our 4th guy. I always forget about him, and Paul could go do it in a heartbeat with his eyes closed. But those 3 guys have all made steps and gotten better, and I'm really, really pleased with that. A lot of guys making some plays in the passing game at all levels. Receiver, tight end, running back. So just a noticeable level of confidence that I see coming out of a couple scrimmages, and that's what you want to see. So. Proud of them for that. Took care of the ball today. Didn't have a lot of bad decisions or anything like that. And we held a couple of guys today, like Amafa, for example. We didn't get any reps intentionally. Really wanted to see all those young guys and how they would handle a bigger role. So a lot of guys are flashing, but now we got to go. We got to, we can do it in practice all day long. We got to go do it on game day, and now it's about, starting to turn the page to that.
The offensive line won today, Saturday, as you said. Did you get a response from the defensive line today?
Yeah, and again, mostly ones on twos today. So I'd say they both did what they should do in that situation. But both, groups very competitive from both sides.
You said the defense was undisciplined during the first scrimmage. I guess how did they respond?
Much better. We didn't have any offsides, so they did a much better job today. Created a couple turnovers, right out of the gate. First defense. It's good to see. A couple of young guys make some plays today. Then created a fumble recovery, and then had an interception later, and knocked another one loose. But the offense came up with it. So it's good.
Is Shelton Lewis among those that's day to day?
Yeah, he's day to day right now.
Is it upper body, lower body?
His lower body.
2 scrimmages in, TJ Morneau, he was starting from a little bit behind us coming into the summer, but what's he kind of done in that deep receiver group?
Making a solid move, man. He's showing up. I mean, he's still not quite, where the first tier guys are from a knowledge standpoint, but he's, as I've said, he's a natural. He makes play. He had an opportunity on one today. He didn't make. He'd like to get back. It was a competitive play. Strozier did a great job of getting it out, but he's just gotten better and better every single day, and I think you'll continue to see that.
With Moff out, was there a running back or two that maybe separated a little bit?
I wouldn't say separate. I think they all three, as I've said, I mean, they're all, Keith's kind of his own guy. He's just different. I say that all the time. And if you really watch him play, it doesn't take you long to figure out that you really kind of have his own category for him. But Jay and Easy E, he kind of put them in that Maffa category. And they are very talented backs, really proud of them. They both had good camps. It's been great because, Jay hasn't really been able to put it fully together. So it's been good for him to just be stacked days. And the same thing for Easy E. He's a different guy than he was in the spring. And so just game has slowed down. He's playing fast. And big, strong, physical kid. So I really like our backs. And then again, Keith just is different. He just brings he's just a different pitch, if you will.
The other day you said you might get Jaden Lucas back. Did y'all ever get him back, and did he play today?
Yeah, he's not quite back yet, but he's close. He should be back, any day. He'll be ready to roll.
How's the kicking competition progressed from Saturday?
Hoosiers still ahead. They're both. I was proud of Robert. Today I think he was perfect today. I don't think he missed one today, but Hoosier right now, same amount of kicks. He's just a little ahead right now.
How's your confidence in, Tavoy Fegan, Hampton, and Brandon Strozier with the injuries to the cornerback room right now?
Yeah, Strozier made some plays today. It was good to see because he was one of those guys that had gotten banged up early, so he's back out there and he made a couple of really good competitive plays. Fagan and Gibson and Ashton are 3 young, talented guys that we need them to keep coming on. They're very talented and they're not complete players, but they've all flashed at different times.
I think Ashton's the one that's come up a couple of times when we talk to players, just in terms of his enthusiasm and just energy and stuff. What have you noticed from him?
Yeah, I mean he's a great-looking kid, big, strong. I mean you don't see many freshmen that look like him. From just a size standpoint, he's big, long, and physically developed. He doesn't look like a freshman. So I think that's the biggest thing that jumps out at you with him is just his physical presence. And he's a focused kid. His dad's the head coach at Arkansas Pine Bluff. He's a coach's kid. He's been around ball his whole life. He's just, he's got good instincts for the game. And but all those guys, Gibson and Tavoy, they're all doing some good things. And then Strozier, I kind of put in that group too because he wasn't able to play last year. So it's a good young group. They just gotta keep coming on because we're gonna need them.
Did the defense get some takeaways today? Were there any turnovers?
Yeah, we had 2. I think Mankaka came up with one on an overthrow, and then early on, Strozier set the edge, and Sammy Brown. I think Strozier knocked it out. Sammy came up with it. I think right there, the 2 of them kind of did a great job out in the open field, creating a turnover. So I think that was the only 2 that we had.
In the spring, you said you wanted to see Lipscomb take a step in the summer and camp to see if he can
Yeah.
be that guy. Has he done that? this
Yeah,
camp?
that's why we didn't take anybody out of the portal in May, is because of what we saw out of him and Harris and Trent in the spring. You know, we looked at it, maybe a guy, because we weren't sure in January, looked at a couple guys, didn't work out, and so we said, well, let's see how it goes this spring, and then we could go from there in May. And man, at the end of spring, we were like, okay, felt different, especially with Matt, to be able to get a full spring with those guys. So we're confident in the job. Ryan has done a great job. He's very smart, and he's in the best shape he's ever been. He did a great job getting his body where it needs to be. Harris is just gotten better and better and better, you know, and more consistent with his snaps. And then Trent's just steady, man. You can just count on him, you know. Same thing, very smart. He's comfortable in there at center. So, you know, they're all playing, you know, Harris and Trent are playing a lot of guard too. Lincoln was pretty much just playing center, but we feel good about the group, you know, feel good about the group. And then Chappie's doing some snapping as our fourth guy as well, but I'm proud of those guys. I mean, they've been very consistent.
With Watson, was it just complications or did he re-injure?
Just tore his ACL. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
just tore it. Practice.
I know TJ Warren said you were keeping him at one spot and he was taking it a lot mentally. Like, how would you say he's progressed just through now 2
Yeah,
scrimmages?
he's gotten better every day. Again, you can tell that it's slowing down for him, and now you start to see his his natural gifts. I mean, again, he does things naturally, but just being able to do it full speed because you're really confident in what you're doing accentuates his ability, and so that's what you see with him. He's just every day he's coming on and getting better, and so I'm really proud of what he's done in a short amount of time. He's gonna be a really good player. He and Wesco, we've got a couple good ones right there. And then, you know, they're not Jerry Rice yet, but they're gonna be good ones if they stay healthy and just keep progressing like we want.
Any thought to moving anybody to corner, or you gonna stick with what you have there?
No, we like our guys at corner. Came into the season with 8 guys, and we got one that's out for the year in Miles Oliver, but we feel good about those other 7 guys for sure.
Going against the
That's
twos,
what they're here for.
going against the twos, did you see the success that you would have liked to see from the first offense, specifically from Cade?
Yeah, Cade, another great day. I mean, I'm just so impressed with him, but I mean, he's got to go do it on game day now, right? I mean, we can see it all day in practice. I mean, I'd rather see it in practice than not see it in practice, but I'm really proud of what he's done. And next step is now let's go be consistent and do it on game day, week after week after week after week. And if he'll play like he's practiced, he's going to have a great year for us.
How close are Burley and Stefano?
Burley had a good day today, as a matter of fact. I'm really proud of him because he was a little limited early, but he got in there and got bladed up a little bit today, and you just notice him. When Burley's in there and his motor's going, you notice him. He's a problem, but he just needs reps. He's had some setbacks really since he got here, where he's had just inconsistency in being able to just stack days. But when he's out there, you notice him, and that was easy today. I'm right out of the gate, just okay. Oh yeah, there's Vic Burley. I forgot about him. He's just a big old strong kid, and could be a really, really good player if he'll just, again, be able to stay available and just keep developing.
How close is Elijah Thurman to kind of breaking into that offensive leverage?
Yeah, he's going to help us. He's a guy that for sure will play. He's not a guy that we need to start, hopefully. But we need him to be ready to play. And I'm really, really proud of his development. I mean, he's a guy he's athletic, he's physical, he's got some position versatility. He's really smart. Same thing, he's been here since January as well, so he doesn't look like a freshman, but he's a guy that definitely, for sure, can be a depth guy for us as a freshman.
How about Heaven Brown Schuler? Do you have a sort of feel for him this year?
Oh yeah, we're just beating them 2 young guys up. I mean, they're getting a baptism out there, him and Champ. But we need them, so just grinding them up every day, trying to get them ready for this level of football.
Is Fazina coming?
Two talented young players, but just gotta bring him along.
Is Pacina coming out of this camp where you want him to be?
Man, he's way ahead of where I hoped he'd be. I'm really proud of him. He's had about he and Cade actually probably about 4 or 5 really good days in a row, and he's his ball placement. The game has really slowed down for him. Really proud of him. I mean, he's a big kid that can run, and he's very accurate. So it's been a good camp for him. I think he's coming out of it with a ton of confidence, and it's good for the team to be able to have confidence in him as well. I mean, he's made some big time plays, including a 2-minute touchdown drive today.
Yeah, on Birdingsville, what have you seen from the tight end room in these past scrimmages?
Yeah, all those guys making plays. It's one of the best rooms on our team. I mean, from top to bottom, all those guys can play. All of them. You know, Banks Pope. You don't hear much about him, but he's a guy that down the line guy. But he brings a certain aspect to us, a little bit of a role guy as well. But man, you know, Brenny had a big touchdown today. It was good. He wasn't able to scrimmage the first scrimmage, so today was a big day for him. This whole week's been big for him. And then Saps had a great camp. Olsen had a big touchdown today. Great camp. Marcus Dixon has just been better and better and better and better and better. And then I tell you, Bentoncourt, man, he might be as good as a kid as we've ever signed at that position. I mean, that's pretty strong praise. We got a strong room, but that kid is he's gonna be a fun one. He's gonna be a fun one to coach and watch develop. He's just a natural player. And then, as I said, Banks is a guy that can fill a little role for us too. So it's a really good room. K. Rich done a great job putting that group together. It's deep. All of them have made strides, and we're gonna need them.
Then you said that nobody's going to beat out Woodaz and Carter, but Sammy Brown, what do you envision his role?
He's gotten better. I didn't notice him this spring, honestly. I hardly ever noticed him. I didn't even know if he practiced most days, you know, and that's because he had so much to learn. You know, and when you don't know what you're doing or you're not confident in what you're doing, it's hard to really play fast and play physical. And I just noticed him more. That's the benefit of him coming in January. You got to understand, this is a kid that played every snap in high school, right? You know, he played running back the whole game. He played linebacker, so it's not like, you know, you can only do so much. So now you come in and you start loading him up with a bunch of scheme, and you know, it's a lot to learn. So I'm proud of him because, you know, he really worked his butt off this spring, this summer, this fall camp to really get more comfortable in what to do. And then, you know, so now he plays faster, he plays more physical, and he's just I see him every day. So I'm really proud of him. He's made a good. And we actually held Barrett and Woodaz mostly today. They got some work, but we held them mostly for that reason. We wanted to see Kobe. We wanted to see D. We wanted to see Sammy. We wanted to see Jamal in a really highly competitive where they're having to get, you know, they've got to be the guys. And so that was good for them today, and good for our defense to be able to, you know, give them that opportunity. But Sammy's made a nice jump. He's not where he's going to be, but he's just wired the right way. He's a freaky dude when it comes to just, you know, who he is ability-wise, and so it's a good situation for him, you know, to be able to have 2 guys like he's got in front of him to learn, to grow, and you know, hopefully we'll be able to continue that and bring him along and be able to play him as we need and be a starter on special teams, and you know, get us good depth with the next 2 or 3 guys to be able to go in and play, and you know, because those guys, they can't play a whole game. We gotta have good quality depth there, but we like the people we got.
Last year you talked about buying Clemson stock. Where would you say Clemson stock is at right now before the season?
Well, I mean, we're pretty consistent. I mean, we've had 13 years in a row, I think, where we finished top 20 or top 15. Some years top 5, top 10. We're pretty dang consistent. So, I mean, if you want to buy stock, you want to buy one that's hot sometimes and then cold as a dead fish. We're pretty steady. So we're second winningest team in the country, 13 years. We're pretty steady, pretty consistent. Not perfect. We've had some little dip here and there, you know, but over the long haul, we're a pretty good stock. So I would say exactly what I said. I mean, I'd invest in them Tigers. I think we're going to be around for a long time. Got a lot of stability, a lot of continuity, and a great roster, great kids, great staff. Great administration, great fan base. There's always been a lot to like about Clemson. Ain't nothing changed.
Adam Randall, I know Christian was talking about his leadership. Maybe the best he's had since Amari Rodgers. What have you seen from confidence-wise?
It's been great camp. Huge touchdown today, a 2-minute drive. He's just been steady, consistent, playing with a lot of confidence. So, same thing I said about Cade. Just and that's really how he finished the year. That's how he finished the season. Those last 3 or 4 games. I mean, he just he looked like you expect him to look, and he's carried that over. And he's had a really good fall camp. So it's a good group, man. Cole Turner has been awesome. He's made some huge plays. Tyler, Antonio, Solano wasn't able to go today, but hopefully we'll get him back next week. He was a little gimpy today, but that whole group has been really good. Wesco, Tink made a couple big plays today. Noble made a big play today. We've talked about TJ, so it's a good group.
I guess the defensive end, anybody there flash other than Parker, Woods, anybody?
Yeah, all those guys. I mean, they're all right there. Hoffler, Jaheim, Denhoff. Armand is back, so it's a Caden Story. All those guys we're creating some. Chris doing a good job trying to create some depth at that spot.
Anybody else? Kind of along the lines that he was talking about stock and everything. You guys were 14 in the preseason AP poll. I think it's your first time outside the top 10 in 8 years or so. Just you're confident, but do you maybe appreciate, or what's it like to be maybe underrated for the first time? And I don't know.
Man, I don't pay no attention to that stuff. I mean, I really don't. I mean, last time we were so-called outside, what was that, 15? We were 12,
yeah.
Went to the national championship. And nobody was writing about all them predictions at that point. 2011, I think we were picked 3rd or 4th in our league, and we won the league. So it's not about what people say, what people predict, what people write. It's about what we do. That stuff never matters. I mean, hey, I'm thankful that people see us as a good team. Ain't nothing shameful about being a preseason top 15 team. I'd rather be that than not be there. I mean, at least people see your program in a good light. But none of that stuff matters. I mean, you can look at the preseason top 25 every year, and there's usually 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them aren't even ranked at the end of the season. So, but nobody comes back and takes ownership of their great predictions and prognostications that they had before the season. It ain't about none of that. It's about just having a great year, trying to be the best we can be, and that's what we do year in and year out. Some years we've won championships, won this league 7 out of the last 9 years. Some years we don't. We've won national championships 3 times in 129 years now, 328 years. So, we just try to just be the best we can, week in and week out, and control what we control. And you don't control what other people say or write or predict or any of that stuff. That's all just noise on the outside. What matters is how we prepare, how we think, how we practice, those type of things.
All right. Thanks.